In this video, we'll be showing how quickly you can publish applications, all kinds of different applications, using the Railway.app cloud service. I'll do a walkthrough of a lot of the different parts of the services they offer and the dashboard and settings and many other things. Also show how anyone can do it. It will help if you have a GitHub repo already established. And this shows how you can accelerate your DevOps work. Let's go ahead and hop into the video. I'm inserting this part of the video at the beginning. If you stay a little bit longer in the video, you can watch and see what happened when I try to set up a new account. You may experience those problems, and a lot of other people did also. In that part of the video, I'll show different questions and answers that were asked here in their Discord. I got set up for that. But for this part of the video, let's go ahead and just do a quick walkthrough of what the Railway app looks like and how to do some deployments and things like that. And then if you, like I said, I'll put a bookmark or a timestamp in the video if you want to watch further into the video and see the problems I encountered and basically what I had to do to get around those. So here is the home page of the Railway. We can see these are applications that were just default named. Right here, the brief weather, if I click on that, we can see here that it was deployed 42 minutes ago. Let's go back to the home page. Let's look at this one here. This was deployed 20 minutes ago. And if we look at Tasty Zinc, that was deployed 33 minutes ago. Let's go to this one. React front end, 20 minutes ago. And we can see the first deployment was done 24 minutes ago, and then this latest one was just done 20 minutes ago, which is what I talked about in the video. We can see here my comment that I made in the main repository in GitHub. I said Scott updated app.jsx again, thank you. If I click on the link here, we can see Scott says, welcome to this YouTube tutorial on Railway. This is an example of Vite plus React app running on Railway. And if we go into the repo, we can see right here, that is the message that you see on the screen. So that is what was deployed to Railway. And this here is a GitHub repository called React Front End. And this actually was a template that I found on the Railway site. So you can click a couple buttons. Once you get your GitHub repo connected and authenticated, which is really easy, you just click a couple buttons and approve it, and then it will, that is Railway, will go ahead and publish all of this code here up to your GitHub repository, and then you can make changes and deploy it. You end up with a working application in a matter of a few mouse clicks. It's really nice. It's similar to other things that I've talked about in other videos of mine, like render.com, Vercel.com, Netlify.com, and a few others that I've talked about. Let's go ahead and look at a few things here. If I just click into this, we can see the deploy logs, we can see the build logs. We can see it took 2.54 seconds to publish it. We can look at the details, and it shows that it was deployed via my GitHub page, which I just showed that. So let's go back to the metrics page. There's no variables for this since it's a simple application, but you can create environment variables. And here is a display of CPU that was used and some memory, how much was used, 13 megabytes, and we can see when the network was accessed, 50 data points inbound and outbound. And then if we go into settings, this is where you have to enable your automatic deployments. Initially it doesn't look like this, so I went ahead and enabled it just by clicking a button. So basically you have your GitHub repo, you connect it here, You enable your automatic deployments, and then you can go make your code deployments, and it automatically starts publishing, and you'll see this screen update. And there's a lot of other settings here down below this, and I will show those further in the video if you want to stick around. So there'll be really two parts to it. The part where I encountered problems when setting up a new account, how I solved them, and then where I just walk through using the services. Hello, and thanks for stopping by for my newest video. Today I'm going to be talking about Railway. It's a cloud for building, shipping, and monitoring applications. No platform engineer required. I think it's a really great tool. Depending on how large you may need to scale your applications, it may or may not be suited for your needs. I'm going to take a quick look at their homepage here, and then in another web browser I'm setting up a new account, so I will step through the process of doing that, and then I will deploy an application. They have hundreds of templates to choose from, so we'll go ahead and select one of those to start. And in another video, more than likely very soon, I'm going to deploy a chatbot out to the Railway service. So let's go ahead and take a look at what they have to say here about their services and what they offer. As they say here, instant deployments, effortless scale, start at bullet speed. Railway provides infrastructure primitives with sane defaults to manage your secrets, builds, and deploys, so you can start quickly and focus on your product. From ADA to Zig, start by deploying a repo, an image, or a template. They say here that the code builds 3 times faster on Railway than other platforms via Nix packs. It also keeps your secrets secure. And you can push to a repo to trigger a build and deploy to a live URL. Say goodbye to CI. Iterate and accelerate. They automatically network your services as your projects grow, adding databases like Postgres and Redis, and coordinate with environments and change sets. The instant private networks, all services within a project are assigned a unique internal network address. Infrastructures as Lego. Compose your volumes and services, define your projects as templates, and YAMLs optional. Review and promote changes to config between environments collaboratively. Avoid derailments with one-click instant rollbacks, restarts, and replication of your apps. So that's really cool. Operational excellence. Railway keeps your applications on track, maintain high availability, and without spending a fortune. They have auto scaling, observation deck, 100+ billion logs, 99.95% uptime. Applications stay on the grid with high availability and high uptime. Unrivaled hospitality. Overcome any challenge with a team of engineers ready to help you succeed. Production ready. Serve with confidence. They don't blink at 100,000 requests per second and above. A secure mission control without the policy headaches, permissions, two-factor authentication, and more. So they show some different products that it's ideal for. And they also have keyboard shortcuts, which makes it keyboard friendly. Manage your secrets. And I've talked about other similar services such as Render and Vercel and Netlify. I've covered those in some of my other videos to walk through how to set up projects on those platforms. And we'll take a brief look at their pricing. And right here, they mention you can start or extend your infrastructure with one click. Choose a template, and that's what we'll be doing from their selection of production-ready applications. And we'll take a quick look at those. And you can see some of the developers. There's 20,000 plus developers building on Railway. And they have a Discord that you can check that out. You can see some of the comments they're mentioning here. So we will deploy an app to production in minutes and join the hundreds of thousands of users deploying applications effortlessly on Railway. So I pulled up the templates page, and there are hundreds of different templates. You can look at the recommended templates or see the most popular, or of course you can type in a search. It looks like they're up to 352 different templates. And some of the things I would like to make videos about will be things like deploying Strappy, which I've talked about that in other applications also, or in other videos and other applications. So I'd like to do that in a video, and there's an AI chatbot that I wanted to get deployed here on the Railway app. And I will find a simple application here to get deployed today in this video. And so I went to the pricing page so we can take a look to see what they have here. They have a hobby plan, a pro plan, and an enterprise plan. And if I scroll down just a little, they still have a link here for a free trial to get started deploying with Railway. And they show what's included in all plans. GitHub and CLI deploys, database management console, real-time logs and metrics, secrets and local dev experience, persistent storage. You get unlimited inbound and 100 gigabytes of outbound network, more if you need it. Config as code, and a bunch of other really cool things. And I will go ahead and open up another browser here where I'm starting to sign up for the free trial, and we'll see what steps are involved in that. So here is the GitHub sign up process, and they show a page here. You have to scroll down here on the right side and say that you agree with their terms of service. There was a link if you wanted to see the full terms of service. You can check that out. I'll go ahead and click on I agree with the Railway's terms of service. And then they go on to say here, hosting or distributing any of the following items will ban your account permanently. Anything illegal, torrent aggregators, crypto miners, mirrors or user bots, DCMA protected content, or VNC virtual desktops. They encourage developers to learn and explore on Railway, making it accessible for everyone. And I will go ahead and click, I will not deploy any of that. So they said, all good, please continue. Thank you for agreeing with the terms of service. And now here I am on the home page. I have a limited trial of $5. And they couldn't enable code deployments for my trial. The upgrade to a paid plan to deploy code. So here is some information about verification. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that a little bit. Verification is a necessary measure to prevent abuse of the free trial, limiting users from creating multiple accounts and reducing the risk of trial users deploying or hosting content that violates their terms of service. When you sign up for a free trial, you can connect your GitHub account to initiate verification. Your verification status depends on a number of factors, including the age and activity of your GitHub account. If your account is not verified, either because you have not initiated the verification process or your account does not meet their criteria for verification, your trial experience will be limited to deploying databases. Read more about the full and limited trial in the FAQs. Verification is fully automated, and Railway does not respond to requests for verification. If your account is not verified, you can upgrade to the hobby plan to unlock the full Railway experience. So here on my Railway account page, I went ahead and authorized it to connect through to my GitHub account. And now it says here, Railway app installed, and you can edit the scope if you want to. So I went ahead and did that step next. So here I've typed in Vite, and I'll go ahead and pick Vite plus React. And now it tells us deploy Vite plus React. It includes one service. repository details. It has the GitHub repo and React front end, and I can mark it as a private repository. And then I'll go ahead and click on deploy. So it tells us it's creating the project, creating the environment, and we'll go ahead and watch it build here. This is all running inside of a Windows sandbox, which I have quite a few windows open, so it will be a little bit slower. As you saw, I did get a warning or an error message. I went ahead and went to their Discord page here, and I'm waiting to get authenticated. Maybe I'll ask a question there, or I'll just upgrade to the paid hobby account. It's probably because my GitHub account is not that old, and they did say in their documentation that depending on some things in the GitHub account, you may not get verified. But I may try and ask someone here and see if they can confirm that or not before I do anything else. Also, when you first sign up, you will see a few emails be sent to your email box, and also for verification of the Discord and Railway, you will have to click a link in your email also, which I've already done that. So down here, there's a verify button. I went ahead and clicked on that, and it took me to this other page here to link the Discord account. So I will go ahead and click the connect button, and we'll go from there. And here is the authorized screen. I will go ahead and click that, and then we'll move on. And now I'm back on the general page. With the account integrations, you can see that I'm connected to the GitHub account as well as the Discord account. And if you come back and try and click the verify button, it will show you you're already verified. So I can go ahead and dismiss the message. So here I've gone to the help page within the Discord, and I typed in the word trial, and we can see there are several people talking about this, such as cannot deploy on free trial. I paid for the hobby plan and I'm still in trial. How can I deploy in free trial? Let's go ahead and look at that. So I did a little bit more searching here in their Discord on the help, and as we can see here on the right side, someone else is saying it essentially just means your GitHub is either too new or too unused, or some other factor that makes it suspicious. And to prevent abuse, Railway has made your free trial limited, which is what we saw on my other page. I'm going to still keep digging a little further. So I've gone to my plans page on the Railway dashboard, and here you can see it says limited trial. And as we saw in the Discord, it does appear because my GitHub is not old enough or doesn't have enough repos or whatever the hidden rules are, it's not going to allow me to do a code deployment. So I will go ahead and attempt a database only deployment, and then I will do an upgrade to the hobby plan and continue on with the video. I have gone back to the home page by clicking on the Railway icon up here in the upper left, and you can see the two attempts where I tried to do a deployment, but because my account is not approved, then I'm not allowed to deploy it. But if I go ahead and click on one of these, we can see here what it did, and it tells us no deployments yet for this service. I popped over to my GitHub page just to see that the Railway did in fact create the GitHub repos here for Flask and the React front end. So it did go ahead and complete that task. So here we can see what was put in the GitHub repo for the Python Flask example. So that part definitely did work. So here I've gone back to their list of templates and look for just a database. So let's go ahead and pick the SQLite 3, a lightweight database. I'll go ahead and click on that. And now we'll go ahead and click on Deploy Now. We'll make it a private repository, set the volume to /data, and the 2 pre-configured environment variables. And I'll go ahead and click on Deploy. And we'll come back in a moment to check on its progress. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to their hobby plan, but I'm going to take the prepaid subscription option down here at the bottom of the page, and I'll go ahead and get that filled out, and then we'll come back and work on getting a deployment done. As I tried to get the GitHub account verified so I could get the free $5 credits, I tried a couple different GitHub accounts, and it just seems like no matter what I tried, I will be forced to use the hobby plan. Maybe you'll have a different experience. So let's go ahead and get continued with the prepaid subscription, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I gave it some billing information, I was accepted into the hobby plan, and here we can see several things here. Deploy confidently. We have access to 8 GB of memory and 8 CPU per container. Always online. Projects scale through traffic spikes and restart through crashes. And any questions, you can join the Discord server, which I've already done that. So let's go ahead and go to the dashboard. And now we'll go ahead and attempt to deploy one of the other projects that I initially tried in this video. If you came to this point just to see the progress and not the problems I went through, then you can go back and watch the first half of the video and you can see what problems I encountered and how I generated these projects. I'm going to click on this one that's named Perfect Property, and I'll click here, React Front End. It says no deploy, so let's go ahead and click on that. We can see there's no service variables, no metrics. And we'll go to the settings page. And we can see the networking, the Git repository, the region, and we can see the source repo here. So here I've scrolled down. Here I've scrolled down a little bit in the settings so we can see the repository that it's connected to. And we can see the upstream repo that I used to generate this. And the builder is Nixpax. It's developed by Railway and based on the Nix. And we can see some of the other options here. I went ahead and clicked into the GitHub repository that the Railway deployed into my GitHub repo. And so we can see that here. I'm going to go ahead and make a change to, let's just say, the README file. So I'll go ahead and click on Edit. And I'll just type in the word now, and then I'll click on Commit Changes, Updated README, commit it directly to the main branch. Go ahead and commit the changes. And while that's happening, we can look and see what it did here. When it created this, it's a Vite plus React plus Caddy. It's a Vite plus React starter that uses Caddy. Deploy on Railway. The features, we can see it uses Vite plus React. How to use it. Why to use Caddy when deploying to Railway. Caddy is a powerful, enterprise-ready, open-source web server, and therefore Caddy is far better suited to serve websites than Vite is. Using Caddy will result in much less memory and CPU usage compared to serving with Vite. Much lower running cost too, so that's great. Now I'll go ahead and click on Deploy in Railway. And I'll go ahead and click Deploy Now. We'll make it a private repository. I called it React Frontend 2. And let's go ahead and deploy. And we can see now that it is building. And we'll just go ahead and let it build. It will take just a little bit here. Over on the right side, we can see it created the project. The environment was created. It added the service. It did the deployment or deployment created. The deployment was snapshotted and the deployment succeeded. So I went ahead and clicked on that. And we can see here, it says server is running, serving the initial configuration. And here is the URL. So I'll go ahead and click on that. I also went back to my React front end here and we can see the deployments that it did do the deployment 4 minutes ago via GitHub. There's no environment variables that were needed. You can see some basic metrics, inbound and outbound traffic, and memory and CPU usage, which of course there really isn't much. And the settings, this shows that we have automatic deployments on main branch, and changes made to this GitHub branch will automatically be pushed to this environment. And if you want, you can disable the trigger. Then you can access your application over HTTP with the following domains. So you can click on copy or you can edit it. So let's go ahead and click on that. And let's just call it Scott's Railway 1.up.railway.app. So let's go ahead and update that. And so now we can see that URL. So here I'm in the other application in Railway called Flask, and the source repository, I went ahead and pulled that up, which is here. I'm going to go ahead and make a change to the file and then save it, commit the changes, and then we'll go back to Railway. So there's some changes. Let's go ahead and click on commit. Update the file. And now we'll go back to Railway. Real quick, like I clicked on this icon here. One pending check. It shows pending. Railway is deploying the service or code. So here we are back in the Railway, and let's give it a second here. Down at the bottom of the build logs, we can see it said publish time was 3.54 seconds. And back on the main deployment page for the Flask application, we can see that it was just updated 2 minutes ago. If you click on the 3 dots over here, you can view the logs, you can restart it, or you can redeploy your application. Let's go ahead and click on the link here for the application. And here, let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. We can see that it says, Scotty says, welcome to your Flask app. So those were the changes that I made, and we can see that it is up and running now, and it really just took a couple seconds once everything was connected up properly. So here I made another change to a different repo, and it was just showing that it was building it, and now it says that it was built a few seconds ago or a minute ago on GitHub. So I went into GitHub and made some changes, and it automatically detected it here. You do have to go into your settings and make a setting change in order to enable that automatic deploy. That is right up here at the top, the Git repository. Initially it doesn't show this here. You have to click on a little button down here that says basically connect the main branch so that it can do automatic deployments. So here I will go ahead and click on the URL for this application, and it's the Vite plus React, and it says, Scott says this is an example of a Vite and React app running on Railway. We can go back into the GitHub code and make one more change, and then we'll come back and redeploy or watch it redeploy automatically. And if we look at the title of the page, it says Scott's Vite plus React app. And if we look in the code, we can see here Scott's Vite plus React app right there. Let's go back into the source, go back into the main, rather the app.jsx, and here we'll just change this to say Scott says welcome. Oh, we have to get on the right line here. So let's change this so it says Scott says welcome to this YouTube tutorial on Railway, and then a period. This is an example of a Vite plus React app running on Railway. Let's go ahead and commit the changes. We'll say Scott updated app.jsx again. Thank you. And we'll go ahead and commit the changes. And now we'll go back into the Railway dashboard. Here we can see now it's automatically building. We can see the first build that was just done, and then we see the new one that's building right now. So we'll go ahead and let that finish. We can see my comment right there, Scott updated app.jsx again, thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and change the URL of this application before we run it. Or I'll run it once and then we'll go ahead and change it and make sure that it updates automatically. Let's go ahead and click on this. We'll hit refresh. And it says choo-choo. Scott says welcome to this YouTube tutorial on Railway, period. This is an example of a Vite plus React app running on Railway. So there are the changes that I made over here in GitHub. We'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit so we can see those are the changes I made, and now they're showing up in the application. And all I had to do was just publish some changes and they automatically got deployed over here on Railway, and it keeps track of that information. It did automatically remove the previous deployment. If we look at variables, There's no service variable since this is a simple application. And the metrics, we'll see a little bit of information here. A tiny little bump up, 14 meg, 18 meg. And we can see a little bit of traffic on the network, 58 KB and so forth. Well, I think this video is actually longer than I had intended, but I did want to walk through the problems that I encountered in case you go through this the first time and your GitHub account is not set up properly. You can go back and watch the first half of this video and you'll see the problems, and also the Discord where a lot of people are talking about the same kind of an issue. Otherwise, once you get set up on a hobby plan, and you can do it the way that I did, and just buy credits as you want them, and then once they expire, your applications will basically just shut down. So it's a way to try things out very cheaply. I did want to point out this observability. So it shows some traffic that was going on and activity, and you can do some filters up here, which is nice, and choose your time span if you're interested in doing that. That is available right there at the top of the page. Otherwise, you go back to the architecture. I also wanted to point out this little link down here, set up your project locally. If you click on that, it will give you some instructions on how to set things up, and it uses like a Railway CLI. And you can always click on the activity tab down here and you'll see all the things that have happened most recently in either all environments or just this environment. And if you wanted to create a new project, you can click on new, and then it will ask you, do you want to use a GitHub repo, a template, a database, a Docker image, a volume, or an empty service. And I may go through some of those in another video. If I click on database, you can see the options here: Postgres, Redis, Mongo, or MySQL. If we click on template, you can type in what you're looking for here, say React, and there you can see some of the React templates. And as I mentioned early in the video, I believe there's 357 templates currently. So there's a lot of things you can experiment with to kickstart your projects. Let's type in AI. So there were some potentially related AI templates. If you click on Docker Hub, it wants you to give the name of the image and enter a Docker image from Docker Hub or GHCR. Or you can click on volume. Service to attach volume to. You can choose one of your services. So there is a walkthrough of some of the new things that you can create here on Railway. I'm back on the home page or dashboard. You can see I'm on the hobby plan now that I've deployed 3 of the 4 applications, and I can go back to my settings, or I can click on new project. And from here you can deploy your app to production effortlessly. What do you need help with? And it basically shows very similar to what we saw on the other screen. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you in some way, as I walked through some of the issues you may encounter and then showed how to deploy a couple different applications. I appreciate you stopping by and watching the video. I'll talk to you soon.
If you like this channel, please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when I post new content.